Hey guys, Buffalo here. You know, about 4 weeks ago, I did a video on the Chiappa Little Badger, and it's kind of a survival rifle, or marketed as a survival rifle. And I had several of you comment about the AR-7, the Henry U.S. survival rifle. And I took your comments to heart. I went out and picked one up, and we're going to take a look at it today. Now, in the spirit of this rifle being marketed as a survival rifle, and this is something for me, or at least the way I would approach it, is this is not a rifle that I would buy for the range or for hunting or whatever. It can do those things, but this rifle is more for a specific purpose. And to me, this is a rifle, and this is how I'm going to treat this rifle. This is a rifle that I would buy, get it out, shoot it, sight it in, make sure it functions with the ammo that I prefer, and then I'm going to store it away. So with that being said, I have not shot this rifle yet. Most of my other reviews, I'll go through and shoot and try to get an idea of what ammo it likes and all that kind of stuff, get sighted in before I ever get it on camera. I have not fired this rifle, so let's take a look at it. Alright, so I don't want to go into too much of a history lesson on this rifle, but to summarize, this rifle was designed back in the 50s by Eugene Stoner. Been around for a long time. It was first produced by Armalite, which is obviously where the AR in AR-7 comes from. I still hear people to this day say the AR stands for assault rifle, and you know, that's just not the case. That's just a seed that the liberal media has planted. And I'm surprised at how many people still believe that. This rifle has been produced by several different companies. If you watch reviews of this rifle, of the ones that Charter Arms made, you'll see a lot of negative reviews. But once Henry got this rifle, they got the quality under control. And, you know, Henry is a, you know, by all accounts, they're a good company. They're a good American firearms company. And they really put some effort into making this rifle better. And so the Henry U.S. survival rifle, in my opinion, is probably the best incarnation of the AR-7. Alright, so you just saw me take the rifle out of the stock container here and put it together without the use of any tools. I think that's a very good thing. In a survival situation, if you were required to use a tool, I can guarantee you that Murphy's Law is going to come into play and you're going to be separated from that tool. So I think that's a really good feature. Now, taking a look at the rifle here, the buttstock, the container of the rifle, is made of an ABS plastic. It got the receiver here is Teflon coated. It does have a 3/8 inch point. You know, you've got an extra pin, which is obviously where the AR in AR-7 comes. Alright, so I don't want to go into too much of a history lesson on this rifle, but to summarize, this rifle was designed back in the 50s by Eugene Stoner. Been around for a long time. It was first produced by Armalite, which is obviously where the AR and AR .7 comes from. I still hear people to this day say the AR stands for assault rifle, and that's just not the case. That's just a seed that the liberal media has planted. And I'm surprised to say the AR stands for assault rifle, and this rifle has been produced by several different companies. If you watch reviews of this rifle, of the ones that Charter Arms made, you'll see a lot of negative reviews. But once Henry got this rifle, they got the quality under control. And, Henry is by all accounts, they're a good company. They're a good American firearms company. And they really put some effort into making this rifle better. And so the Henry U.S. Survival Rifle, in my opinion, is probably the best incarnation of the AR-7. Alright, so you just saw me take the rifle out of the stock container here and put it together without the use of any tools. I think that's a very good thing in a survival situation. If you were required to use a tool, I can guarantee you that Murphy's Law is going to come into play and you're going to be separated from that tool. So I think that's a really good feature. Now, taking a look at the rifle here, the buttstock, the container of the rifle, is made of an ABS plastic. It got the receiver here is Teflon coated. It does have a 3/8 inch Weaver style tip-off rail on the receiver. So, you could add an optic. I wouldn't recommend it because it takes away, if you add something to this rifle, it takes away from the rifle. The whole point of the rifle is that all of its own, we're going to add it just like the stock. So take a look at the sights. I've removed the buttstock so that you can see the complete rear sight here for elevation radius, which is not bad when they over, and it's dovetailed in. From what I've never owned the older version, but from what I'm told, it only allowed room for 2 magazines. Now the Henry only ships with 2, but I highly recommend picking up a 3rd and keeping all 3 of your magazines loaded, storing it as such. It is just made up. We'll say about this rifle sight. Alright, now the Henry U.S. Survival Rifle version of the AR-7 offers room for 3 magazines. Of course, they only go in one way, as I just demonstrated by accident there. 2 places here, and you can store 1 magazine in the receiver. From what I've never owned the older version, but from what I'm told, it only allowed room for 24 rounds with those 3 8-round magazines. That much ammo, if this, and see how well it does. But it's designed to float, not necessarily just keep everything bone dry. It's just that if you were to overturn your boat or kayak or your bush plane, whatever, and get it in the water of the Federal bulk pack, don't know how well these will work in this rifle. I did bring some stingers along just in case we get some failures. Brand new rifle of keep everything bone dry. It's just that if you were to retrieve the federal bulk pack, in case we the sights don't look like they look like they're right on. Man, I don't know if you guys change it out. So, alright, so loaded me up 2 more magazines. I saved you guys the punishment of watching me thumb load 2 8-round magazines. But got them loaded back up. Got a smaller target hanging, a little 6-inch steel plate. I'm at the 30 up. More round. Alright guys, so we ran 4 here. £6, 2.5 endurance test of the rifle. And then it slides in out. Alright, so to take the bolt out for cleaning, just kind of press back on it a little bit and you'll feel the bolt handle pull out, or you'll feel it kind of click into position to pull it out. Of course, you'll have to remove your magazine. Then your bolt will slide right out. Comes out just like that. Of course, the notch is going to face down. You got your springs. And then, you know, that's as far as I would take it down for cleaning, for a general cleaning. But it takes down and goes together really easy. Let's get this back together. Put your springs in. Slide everything in. You can see that notch and that spring retainer slides right over your trigger, your hammer and stuff. Push it back to the opening. Put your bolt in. You're good to go. Okay, we might as well get a weight on it while we're down here. 0.4 pounds. I'll be dang. It really does float. Guys, a little rifle like this would be real handy to have on any of your outdoor excursions. You know, along with your concealed carry pistol, because you never know what you might run into out here.
Hey YouTube, today's video Wells 22 Magnum. This is the long rifle version. This is actually my son's gun. We'll go over some quick specs on the gun, and then I'll kind of show you up close of the sights and a few other features. Basically, it's a 16.5-inch barrel, 32 inches overall length. Bolt around it is when it folds. That's it right there. I've got this GoRuck GR1 right here, and even say this hydration block. And that is just an excellent way to carry. Now let's get into it's basically a wire frame. I'm 6'2", and you see when I shoulder this gun, it's pretty tight, it's pretty tiny. Also, getting in on the sights, it's again, we'll do a little bit of a close-up right here at the trigger area, and it's a nice little mechanism there. It's a very smooth feeling gun. And then obviously the hammer to cock it and then release. The front sight on this gun, not crazy about this necessarily because it needs for your, you can get, my son made this paracord sling for it, and just a really cute little gun. Bug out or an emergency gun is that you're not, it's strictly for ammo holder, stick her in, and let's see. That was a chain hanging down off a fence at about 40 yards. Here you can see the ejector pulls out the round, easy to grab, get rid of, and ready for your next.
Hey guys, James again for TFB TV. I am really excited today to bring to you a full review of the Chiappa Rhino. Today I've got the 200DS, which is the 2-inch barrel 357 version of this gun. So let's get the elephant out of the room, or should I say rhino, out of the room first, and that is the fact that this gun fires from the bottom cylinder, unlike every other revolver pretty much ever. Now, why would Chiappa do that? And the answer is very simple, because transfer of recoil. Instead of the firing from the top cylinder, which tends to bring that recoil from a higher axis over the top of your wrist, with the Rhino, the recoil goes directly backwards into your wrist, your elbow, your arm. So that's supposed to mitigate the effects of recoil, lead to faster follow-up shots, and just make it an all-around easier gun to shoot. So it kind of makes you wonder, why didn't anyone think of this before? And the truth of the matter is, it really complicates the mechanics of the revolver. With the revolver that fires from the top cylinder, the traditional revolver, you have an exposed external hammer. Now, while the Rhino looks like it has a hammer here at the top, this is in fact not a hammer, but a cocking lever that cocks an internal hammer. So this is a little bit more complex than your conventional revolver. Firing from the bottom cylinder brings another issue to bear that you don't necessarily run into all that often in a conventional top cylinder firing revolver, and that is the fact that you want to keep your hands away from the explosion. Did you get a little?
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
It tells you it's there.
Yeah, obviously. You have a cylinder gap. You have gas bleed off in revolver.